Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Conscience Hikama 2133. Am I the a-hole for leaving my boyfriend because he bought his female best friend lingerie as a joke? My boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 24 female, have been together for a year and a half. I love him a lot and he has been pretty amazing to me. He is also the sort of person who has lots of friends, and his close friends are pretty much family. He also loves to joke and play these harmless pranks on his friends, which sometimes makes me feel weird. Just for context, he has 2 female friends and 3 male friends. This is about my boyfriend and one of his friends, Claire, 28 female. Claire is a nice woman and we are friendly. My boyfriend also has never ignored me in favor of his friends or talked over me in front of them, which is why I don't understand if I'm in the right. They, my boyfriend's friend, had a recently escalated prank fight. I had made it clear to my boyfriend that I am not good at jokes and I'm rather stiff, and he said he would keep me out of it. Claire, my boyfriend, and another friend, Kyle, 27 male, even had a huge throwing of water balloons fight in Kyle's backyard. Then my boyfriend got pranked with dye in his body wash. Then Kyle got pranked by Claire, something about whipping cream and oven mitts. But the issue was when my boyfriend bought a red laced lingerie set and he planned to put it in Claire's room the next time when he went over. I said it was a tacky prank, and why would he buy lingerie? None of the previous pranks have been of this kind, and it makes me really uncomfortable. I also felt like if I was Claire, I would feel gross about it. But my boyfriend got mad and defensive and told me Claire is cool like that, and she would think it's funny. I admit, I get a bit weirded out when he calls Claire extremely beautiful and jokes about how she has always been way out of his league. But I thought it was nothing and they were like family, so I guess it was their thing. However, the lingerie prank had me put my foot down and said that he was wrong to give another woman lingerie, no matter who, when he had a girlfriend. We fought and I said I wanted to break up, which he didn't want to and said that I was just overreacting. He said that I was too conservative and needed to open my mind when he had never given me a reason to be insecure. Then Claire called me and said that she and my boyfriend have been friends for a long time and inside jokes are just that, and I'll learn with more age. I still feel weird about this. My best friend is supportive of me no matter what I do, but I have started to feel like I'm blowing this out of proportion. My boyfriend says that the fact that he told me and didn't hide it from me shows that I'm the problem. I have started to feel like I've blown this out of proportion and maybe it's my fault I can't take a joke. I really feel awful about this whole thing. Am I the a-hole? Well, OP, no, I don't think you're the a-hole for breaking up because of a situation that's made you uncomfortable. And also, I'm a bit confused. How is buying laced lingerie for a female friend a prank? I mean, considering the other pranks you spoke about, like putting dye in somebody's wash and hopefully it's easy to take off or else it's not a prank in my opinion. Then something about whipping cream and oven mitts and a water balloon fight in a backyard. But buying laced lingerie for a woman that you've always considered extremely beautiful and way out of your league? Yeah, I'd feel weird about that too. I also have to say, I didn't like the condescension coming from Claire regarding how you will learn more with age about inside jokes. Because that has me wondering, maybe I missed something between 24 and 28 that I didn't learn regarding inside jokes? Because I don't remember ever buying lingerie for a female friend as a prank. And the last bit about him calling you the problem because you didn't like this prank or you felt uncomfortable with it. I don't know, OP. To me, it's not just one big, huge thing. It's the sum of a lot of different things that make me think, no, you're not the a-hole for wanting to get out of this relationship. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's check out the community comments. Lex Emo says, not the a-hole. You aren't blowing this out of proportion. He is buying lingerie and putting it in someone's room as a prank? You'll learn with age? There's a 4-year difference between you and Claire. Does she think in 4 years you'll somehow think buying lingerie is acceptable and somehow can be considered a prank? Girl, I'm in my 40s and I can tell you, right now, that would never be an acceptable inside joke or prank. And your boyfriend telling you you're the problem because he didn't hide it from you is just plain trying to manipulate and gaslight you. You don't need him to agree to dump his ass. You deserve better. Drop him and F Claire too. Not literally. Missing 1776 says, my ex-fiancé was gifted lingerie on Friendship Day by her male best friend. I was extremely uncomfortable. We later broke up due to the fact it turns out he escalated it to sex at some point afterwards. As a man, no man buys a woman underwear unless he wants to see her in it. You don't buy sexy lingerie as a joke gift. The prank war is just an excuse that gives him deniability because he is a coward. Sounds to me like you struck too close to the truth for his comfort and he is shocked his perfect deniability plan didn't work. Crazy Banshee 333 says, not the a-hole. Your boyfriend said he thinks Claire is extremely beautiful and way out of his league. He would not have bought her red, lazy lingerie if he did not think of her in a sexual way. Would he prank one of his guy friends with a sexy G-string? I doubt it. Even as a prank, buying someone sexy lingerie is suggestive. I would be ticked off by it too. What's next? A dildo? It's very condescending of Claire to suggest you're just being immature. I'm betting she wouldn't like it if her boyfriend bought that for another woman. OP's edit. The people asking what the prank is with the lingerie, apparently it's an inside joke about how during their college days she had some problems with the color red, and the lingerie would have just given her a shock of some kind, I guess. I told my boyfriend it was cruel, but he said it wasn't a trauma thing, just an inside joke. Claire also said over the phone that the lingerie thing was just an inside joke of their college days. Alright, so the community is totally on OP's side. She doesn't need his permission to break up, and the reasons why she's breaking up are all valid, and people caught on to all of them. And in the edit, we also see that OP was given a BS excuse for what the inside joke was, which was never explained. Anyways, OP did not reply to any comments, so we have no additional context, which means we move on straight to the update to see how this story ends. My inbox got flooded with DMs and had to turn off Reddit notifications. When I posted this, I was ready to be called immature and ridiculous and get a couple of comments, but it seemed like the post blew up and the comments were kind of eye-opening. To be honest, before all this fiasco, my boyfriend has always been nice to me. Came with me to my grad school functions, even though he found them very boring, but would do it so I could network. He builds stuff like furniture and helps out with handiwork all the time. He is also very funny, and at the very beginning, I thought all his jokes were funny, and I sometimes wondered why he wanted to be with me. Plus, I was always busy with school and job interviews. His mom and I had even gotten close, and she has been saying how happy she was that we were together. I had always ignored his and Claire's weird dynamic because I told myself I was being insecure. I have male friends too, and I thought that just because we aren't like that doesn't mean my boyfriend and Claire can't be close. Claire has also never been outright mean to me. She was just aloof, and I thought it was because I was new to the group. Now, to the actual update. My boyfriend and I broke up. I'm sorry guys, but even after seeing so many replies on how he was cheating, I refused to believe it. I'm still in love with this guy. He called me like half a day after I wrote this post and asked to meet. I met him and he said that he understood where I was coming from, but I was always too uptight to understand that friendship is friendship. He and Claire had known each other for years before I came into the picture, and I cannot expect him to just ruin their dynamic. I asked him what sort of dynamic was red lingerie. Why couldn't it be literally any other type of clothing? That's when he told me he had it with my insecurities. He said that he and Claire talked, and apparently I was making them sound like cheaters and homewreckers, and that he thought it was better I find someone like me who thought the idea of a fun night was junk food and a movie indoors. That hurt a lot. He had always known I had insecurities about being called boring. He always complimented me on how his weaknesses were my strengths. Now he says things like this to me? Also, before this lingerie fiasco, I had never said a word about his and Claire's friendship. I always supported his pranks and practical jokes no matter my opinions on them because I thought it was his business what he did with his hobbies. And he leaves without even putting up a fight because his girlfriend didn't want him giving lingerie to the woman he constantly refers to as his sexy bestie? Claire didn't call or text after the breakup, but Kyle did and said that he was sad that we broke up and he hoped I would be okay in the future. I asked him if my boyfriend ever cheated on me. He said that my boyfriend had only been a one-woman man when he was dating me, but he could understand that some women can't handle female best friends, especially if they look like Claire. I told him to F off and blocked him. It felt like he only wanted to gloat and hurt me because my boyfriend left. I feel like I never knew these people. Claire and Kyle were always at least decent to me if not nice. Did it make me a free target now that my boyfriend has been telling his friends I'm an insecure child? I don't know what to do now. I have been told repeatedly by both my friends and sister that I dodged a bullet. But I have been breaking down like a kid again and again. I'm even thinking of going to therapy after feeling the most insecure I've felt my whole life. Thank you to all who were supportive. It seems like my now ex-boyfriend just did the work for me. Well, OP, I think your friends and sister are absolutely right. You dodged a bullet. He refers to Claire as his sexy bestie. Yeah, that dude has been friend-zoned to oblivion, and I'm pretty sure Kyle is in that friend zone along with your ex. And regarding therapy, if you think you need it to deal with your insecurities, sure. But don't do it because of your ex. Do it for you. And on that note, OP, here's wishing you the best in the future. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Third-Way Edited Pic. Am I the a-hole for refusing to replace a picture I posted with an edited version of it? My father's girlfriend is very active on social media. She usually makes at least 2 Instagram posts a day. I'm fairly certain she's trying to become an influencer. While I don't care much for that, one thing I've noticed is that almost every picture she posts is photoshopped in some way. Sometimes she makes her waistline smaller, other times she airbrushes her face. Sometimes she does both. I don't know how noticeable it is to other people, but both me and my husband can always tell. Now, my birthday was this weekend. I had a baby a few months ago and I haven't had time to do much. So last week, my friends and family threw me a surprise party to celebrate both my birthday and my first year of being a mom. I later made a post on Instagram thanking everyone, in which I included several pictures from the party. A few hours later, my father called me to ask if I could add a picture that featured his girlfriend to the post I'd made. I was frustrated but deleted it and reposted it with a picture of me, my husband, our baby, my father, and his girlfriend. It was the only one I had of her at the party. Hours after that, his girlfriend sent me a photoshopped version of the picture and asked if I could replace the one I'd posted. She changed her waistline, retouched everyone's faces, and whitened our teeth. I said no. While she's free to post whatever she wants on her socials, I don't want an obviously photoshopped picture on mine. She argued the picture I'd posted would clash with the ones on her page, and she didn't want her followers to see her like that. I reminded her that my account is private and the only people who will see my post are friends and family who already know what she looks like. When she kept insisting, I told her that either she accepted the unedited picture or I'd remove it from the post entirely. My father wants me to humor her. He says it would take little to no effort on my part to replace the picture. I'm aware of that, I just don't want to do it. I didn't even want to include the picture in the first place. I only did it because they wanted me to. I'm busy this week and dealing with this has become very annoying. Am I the a-hole? No, OP, in my opinion, you're not the a-hole. She's just being entitled. She's the one that wants to portray this image, and you're under no obligation to follow through with what she wants. Besides, she can always untag herself, right? I mean, I don't really know very much about how Instagram works, but I'm assuming if somebody tags you in a post and you don't want to be in it, then you can untag yourself. Also, like you said, your account is private. Now, your dad's opinion on this matter is absolutely irrelevant, but yeah, it's no surprise to me that he wants you to humor her. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just not hearing the end of it at his house and it's making his life kind of miserable. But of course, that last bit is just an assumption on my part, although I don't think I'm too far off from the truth. Anyway, OP, no, not the a-hole, your Instagram, your life, you get to decide what you want to do with it. And her Instagram image issues are hers to deal with. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Not creative at all 16 says, not the a-hole. She's free to post whatever photoshopped version of reality she wants, but on yours, you can post the real photos with her real thick waist and her yellow teeth. It's your wall, not hers. It's private, so she doesn't have to worry about her followers seeing, unless they are the handful of people who follow you both. And OP responds, I see my social media more as a photo album than anything else. I wouldn't want to put things that aren't real or didn't happen on an album. I also want to add that she's a fairly skinny woman with normal clean teeth. From my perspective, there's no reason for her to edit her pictures like this. Mana Kitten says, not the a-hole, but your mistake here is giving in and posting the pic in the first place. If your dad wants her featured in pictures of the event, he can post to his social media. It's not your job to further her influencer career, and honestly, if it's as bad as you describe, she won't succeed anyways. I would have a talk with your dad. Set some boundaries and guidelines now, so if in the highly unlikely event she gets famous, you're not forced to help boost her posts. For free, I might add. If I'm posting for you, I'm getting paid, lol. Zoe Loving 77 says, not the a-hole. I absolutely think heavily photoshopping everything is cringy at best and damage to people's mental health at worst. It's also way crossing the line for your father to insist you post a picture and for her to even make the photoshopped one in the first place, let alone have the gall to actually send it. Something feels extra violating to me about the fact she photoshopped everyone. But I suppose if she sent you a photo of only herself being photoshopped, it would mean admitting to herself that she hates how she really looks and everyone else looks fine. That being said, I'm not sure the morality of the situation even matters. I don't think the judge will care. Do you know what the laws are about this where you live? Because where I live, it is illegal to post pictures online publicly of someone else without their consent. I know she didn't say she was going to sue you, but to me, keeping the photo up doesn't seem worth the risk. And OP responds, I'm not in the US, but there are no laws like the one described here in my country. Even if there were, they asked me to put the picture up in the first place. I have no problem with taking it down. I actually suggested it. So the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole. Now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I decided to follow your advice. A few days after I first posted here, I removed the picture. My post on Instagram now looks exactly the same as it did before my father made me include his girlfriend. I did so because she was still asking me to switch the pictures. She had begged, sent me an alternative version in which she only edited herself. Lie, everyone's teeth were still whitened. And she tried to guilt trip me about it. I consider myself to be a very patient woman, but I do have limits. That's when I removed the picture. I think she was checking my post because she texted me about an hour later asking why I'd changed it. I reminded her I'd promised to remove the picture if she didn't accept the unedited one. My father later tried to convince me to repost it, but I told him I'm not doing that again. When he protested, I told him to stop and think about the fact that he was complaining about a social media post on a private account. I think he did, because he apologized for the drama and stopped bringing it up. I did get a few more texts from his girlfriend asking me to reconsider, to which I replied that since she doesn't want any real depictions of her online, I will never include her on my social media again. I think she's still upset, but she's no longer bothering me about it. Also, I took the opportunity to remind all parties that only me and my husband are allowed to post pictures of our child online, just in case. Thank you for all your advice. Well, it'll be good for you. You put this whole thing into context and just moved on. This is a private account. Can you understand what you're complaining about? Good thing is that at least your dad finally did understand. So on that note, OP, thanks so much for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.